I hear you down there. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Trayer Wilderness. Ooh, I got some bright light going on here. Let's see if I can adjust some things here a little bit. Decided to, I created a cozy spot in my house so that I had one. It's been a little crazy here with us working and packing. I'll show you just a little glimpse here what I'm talking about. My office is packed. It's all in one big heap. It was all spread out yesterday, and I need some of normalcy in the chaos so that I have at least one space to find comfort, if you will. I'm going to try moving this because that backlight is just really, I don't know. See if I can move it and get it going the other way, and if it makes a difference. Maybe here, so I'm blocking it a little bit. There we go. I don't know. It's good enough. As long as you can hear me, I guess that's all that matters. No, that ain't any better. All right. Well, anyway, welcome. I want to do a little shout out to a friend in just a second. I am going to slap up the reminder quick on Facebook so people can join from there if it will allow me. There we go. And if you're new to Trayer Wilderness, let us know where you're joining from. We've been having a lot of new people joining in, and it's always nice to know where you're joining from, whether you're watching the replay or the live. Just send that. There we go. That's taken care of. And you know what? I'm going to try something else here. See if that... There we go. That's a little better. All right. Not that you need to see me, but it's nice to know who you're talking to or listening to, I guess. So anyway, I want to give a shout out to a dear friend of mine, Miss Angie at silenttreenaturals.com sent me an amazing care package. She sends me some great things. And good morning, Miss Shelley. And you guys have to check her out. She is a home-based business, but she makes amazing products. And she blessed me last year when I was greatly in need, and she blessed me again when I'm greatly in need. She had sent me the rosebuds and pearls, or petals, and this is a salt scrub. She sent this to me last year, and I was just running out, and she provided me with a brand new one. This stuff smells so amazing. It's just like, I don't know, stepping out into the wilds. I love the smell. It just is so natural, and it feels so good, and it's so good for your skin. But the reason she saved me this time is she sent me cayenne and menthol salve, and right now I am in great need of something like this. I'm going to give that a try. She also sent me her comfrey and tea tree lip aid. And another one she sent me that is going to probably get some heavy use is Timeless. I could use that too. And she also sent me, which we can all use right now, is some elderberry syrup. So I am very thankful for the goodies that she has sent me, and I encourage you guys to check her out. She's a home-based business out of Utah, and a sweet, sweet person, and she knows her stuff. The products she's making are very effective. They smell amazing, and it's nice, especially during these times, to be able to support home-based businesses, ma and pa shops, our local economy. We are going to be talking a lot about all that stuff today. I think a lot of us are getting fed up with the way things are going. I mean, we are back here. We are working on this house, getting ready to build our new house. And, you know, we're really pretty much unaffected by all that's going on. However, if we do not pay attention to what is happening around us, this is going to heavily affect us down the road. And the thing is, it's going to affect us all. And we've been just watching things, paying attention to things, and guys, We really need to stand together. I'm going to talk about this now. Let me just get into my notes here. You know, I think our state governors are taking things way out of hand. I've said from the beginning that there was definitely more to this, and there is a lot of political agenda. There is a lot to do with our election. I truly believe all this stuff. And I don't typically talk about this. We're not doom and gloomers, but we need to come together as a country. This is being used to divide us. I've heard it down to the degree of people wearing masks, that if the people that are wearing masks are liberals and the people that are not are the conservatives. It's just gotten to such a level of bull. And we need to stand up. I think that they are testing us to see how much we will take, what efforts we will use to fight back. But if we don't do something, we're going to lose a lot of rights. And you've heard me talk already about how disturbing it is to me to know that there are states that living off the grid with solar power by our choice is illegal. That's just bull. And it gets under my skin. And what I'm seeing right now is really getting under my skin. And I want to talk about it today. And I want your opinions too. I don't want this to be a spitting match amongst everybody. But the thing is, Idaho's governor spent $7 million to put tracer trackers or tracker tracers in place. Washington State did it also, and they're using the National Guard to do that. There are some businesses that have stayed open or have reopened and may have reopened early, but they took great effort to protect their patrons, and it wasn't like they were putting somebody in a noose and dragging them into their facility. They opened it for those that felt comfortable enough to come out. They were wearing masks, they were wearing gloves, they removed chairs out of their facilities so that there was further spacing, less people in there at a time, put checks in place to see if people were sick. And the one woman in Texas is just being used as an example. Another fella in Wisconsin, the state police were called in to arrest him, and the state refused to do so. So he's no longer employed. And the barber, who has been in business for a long time, went to the great lengths also. He refused to comply, and because the state police would not arrest him, they went to the board and had his license removed to enable him to cut hair. And if he goes and does cut hair around this, it's $1,000 a day fine. Now, why this frustrates me is here in Idaho, a brewery was shut down and fined extensively and jailed, and at the same time he's operating, our liquor stores are open. Tell me that makes any sense. That's the part that gets really hard through all of this, is that the ma and pa shops are being shut down, even though they're taking great effort to monitor the people and protect the people. And then you've got Walmart and all these big chain stores open, and you're elbow to elbow. Shelley shared with us a couple weeks back that her grocery stores had, directive aisles that you could only go one way down the aisles. That's not even happening here in Idaho. I know it's happening in Michigan. I know it's happening in other places. But it's really frustrating to see how they're utilizing this situation and really making it harder on the people. Our food chain is being broken. Once our food chain is broken, things are going to get really, really sketchy. And that's why I talked last week about knowledge isn't power until you put it to action. And we need to be putting our knowledge to action right now. We need power as a country, as a whole, standing up against some of this stuff. You know, there is a virus and it is killing people, and it's sad. I'm sorry for those that have lost, and I don't want to make it sound like I am discrediting that or not putting priority on that. But at the same time, the other things that are happening that are breaking our constitutional rights is something that we need to be aware of, have our eyes open to. There are so many people that are sitting back and just listening to every directive that they're being given and taking it for gold. And then there's the other population that is seeing things for what it is and really noticing what's going on here. And I want you guys to open your eyes. I want you to stand. I want you to stand tall. I want you to put your knowledge into action and create power. Okay. Good morning, Miss Tammy. Good morning, Miss Diana. Diana says the vast majority of people around the world just laid down and rolled over. I know. Amen. We used to think that martial law was what we had to fear. We didn't even have to come close to that. I know. Our real food store just announced you must wear a mask in the store or you will be asked to leave. That was Tammy. And Diana says the Aldi near us had one-way aisles in place, but when we were there, the signage was gone. Shelley says they also have plexiglass between the customers and the checkouts. Yeah, that's one thing that I saw in our stores was the plexiglass and also arrows to keep people 6 feet apart. But you know, most people were honoring that. I didn't really see too many people disrespecting that. And most people, you know, they want to stay healthy. They don't want to get sick. But what's happening as a result of this is going to change our country. And it's already changing our country. Like I said, our governors are taking control of things in ways that are absolutely unheard of. And it is true. So many people have just accepted this and are rolling over in such a huge way. I listen to a lot of people and doing inspiring and encouraging things, all kinds of different aspects of different teachings. And, you know, I've heard many of them say that they're thankful that their studios are in their homes, that they haven't had to leave this entire time, and that they're honoring all the rules and they're waiting for this to pass us by. But as we wait for this to pass us by, nothing that we've ever known will be the same. Nothing. And, you know, once our food, you know, our food is their biggest means of them controlling us. Most people today do not grow their own food. And I am praying, and I'm hearing so many of you, and I am praising God for it, that you guys are starting to, that haven't been, are diving in, or that couldn't, are diving in and starting to grow your own food. You're reevaluating your preparedness levels. You're reevaluating a lot in your life right now. And we have to. If we do not embrace this right now, and we do not do something and stand up in some way, we are going to be in a sore and sorry place. And it's going to take everybody in their individual locations to come together. It's like Phil Robertson said. This was perfect. Phil Robertson said, there are not enough jail cells to go around to jail us all. If we all picked a day and all back to work, what are they going to do? They cannot stop the masses. You know, and I believe that they're expecting us to come at them in a malicious way. And you know what? It doesn't have to be that way. There are many things that we can do for ourselves. Food is one of them. getting ourselves more self-reliant, that we are growing our own food, harvesting our own food, foraging our own food, raising our own animals, hunting. You know, there are ways that we can take control and be more self-reliant and not have a need on the food chain, on the government. The other thing is we need to stand up. We need to stand up as a whole. This division that they're creating is going to be the death of our country as we know it, if we do not open our eyes and do something. So those are my thoughts today. I needed to share that because it's just disturbing watching what's happening. It's disturbing seeing all the things that are getting woven into place and getting put into place, and the splits and the divides, and everybody just, it's a virus. No, this is so much more than a virus, and we need to acknowledge that. This is way more than a virus. This is an agenda, and wherever it came from, it will be the death of us if we do not stand strong. Good morning, Space Girl. Shelley, there are some changes that are much better. Some of the stores around here are now closed on Sundays and have shorter hours. Families have more time together also. Totally agree. Yes, and thank you. There's no need to focus on the doom and gloom. There has been a lot of good. The other good is that people are opening their eyes and seeing things for what they are. They're seeing the need to be prepared and not thinking that the rest of us are all nuts that have been preparing. Family time, the stores closed on Sundays, you know, people realizing their pace doesn't need to stay the way it was. Many people are starting their own home businesses that they've wanted to start for a long time, were afraid to take that plunge. There's nothing stopping them now. There's nothing stopping us now from embracing anything because we've got so much time on our hands. And that's not true for everybody, but I mean, we have a lot of opportunities here, guys. Tammy says it used to be when I went to the store, a person would smile to each other or have an offhanded conversation. Now no one does any of that. It's very sad. Yeah, it's interesting to see. It depends where you go. Locally here, things are very much the same. But the big, I mean, like I think I said it the other week when we had to run out to get, I don't remember what we got, but when we went to get it, we were going to stop at Walmart. And you know what? The line was so long. I just didn't want to be around all those people. I mean, we are still being cautious. I don't want to make people sick. I don't want to be sick myself. So we are taking those precautions, and there's nothing wrong with taking those precautions, but we've also got to be aware of what else is happening. The food control is what scares me the most. I am trying to grow things, but it's not going the way I want. And, you know, gardening can be a difficult thing. It's also timing as well. I'm sure too that you're getting everything in the ground. That is our greatest struggle. We have so much on our plates, and our priority has got to be getting under roof that we aren't able to plant a garden. I wanted to, but there's just no way. And what we will do is get our greenhouse in place as soon as the roof is home and utilize that. We have the ability to build a fairly large one, so we will utilize that, and we're going to build partially underground, so that will also enable us hopefully to use that through winter with a lot of success. Diana says it's sad to see the number of pastors who are not addressing this issue head on. Yeah, and just the division is what scares me. There is such a huge division, which is what, you know, they wanted. The food supply is the other scary thing. You know, to be throwing all that food away is just so disturbing when there are people in need. And it's just really frustrating to watch as this all unfolds. And our president needs prayers. You know, I know, that there are people that are on both sides of the fence there, but our president needs prayers. There's an agenda here, and it's so much greater than I believe we could ever imagine. And we have the ability to step into that and to do something. Start with easy to grow foods that produce quickly, like radishes and lettuce. Yes, and things that produce quickly and abundantly. A lot of the root vegetables too are some really good ideas. Potatoes. We need we need to start out wherever we're at. So many people that have followed us for years, they don't want to embrace the homesteading lifestyle till they can really dive into it. But, we need to step into that wherever we are and do whatever we can. And the other thing too is coming together as community neighbors. Most people don't know their neighbors anymore. But if you don't have a lot of space and your neighbor does, but they're not able to do something, coming together as a community and working together, being able to produce more food in your area there amongst friends, is really, really important as well. If you know of a farmer, ask if you can buy directly from them. Yeah, my girlfriend in Michigan, it has really been hitting up a lot of the farms, and she's been doing this for years, finding out what is available to her locally that she can provide for the farmer versus the store, and breaking that chain. Locally here, we have people that are, it's a large family, and yesterday Glenn had to run out to the post office, and when he was out, he saw that this large family was selling their seedlings, and they were doing it cautiously, but being able to do that and being able to purchase starter plants that are hardened, for someone that's new, and also being able to give back to one another, bartering, trading skills. This is so important right now, and I just can't express it enough. Stocking up on what you can right now. One of the things, we take God's lead very seriously, and He prompts us. And salt is something that we feel really driven to. It enables us to preserve our meats if we don't have the sources such as propane for our freezer. There's all kinds of things we can be doing to prepare ourselves for the varying seasons that are ahead. I still did not get to canning my potatoes. I could actually use some prayers, guys. I think what's happening with my body is that since the cancer was removed, my body has redirected its efforts. And I am pushing silicone, something fierce, which is good. It's coming out of my system. But I have not experienced such pain in such a long time. I mean, debilitating pain that I've got to lay flat, that when I lay down at night to go to sleep after pushing myself through the day, because I have to, I need to keep moving, I'm almost in tears. So if you could say some prayers for me, I would really appreciate it. There we go. The enemy was fighting me on that one. I could see you guys commenting, but I was like just dead. Okay, I'm going to jump back here. Space Girl says, yes, a couple of pots on a front step is better than nothing. Green beans grow good in pots. They do. And just to be able to get the greens, we can't live on just meat. We have tons of meat, but we can't just live on meat. It's not good for your system. So being able to produce the kale, I see Space Girl said kale is awesome. If you grow more than you can eat, dry it and save it as powder to do the foods later in the year. Yep, that's exactly what Shelly does. The foods that are easy are the ones I am allergic to. Oh, that's right. Okay, I am still going to try and will put away all I can. Kale seems to love my garden. That's awesome. And being able to have those greens in powder form is an easy way to add nutrients to any meal. Just for example, spaghetti and meatballs could have a lot of kale powder added, and you'll get your nutrients you need. That's so important. Yep, Shelly said that's exactly what she does with her kale. Prayer sent for quick detox and wholesome healing. Thank you, I appreciate it. I just bought 2 used dehydrators. I love and put away all I can. I also dehydrate beets and then rehydrate for use in smoothies. I just love red beets in general, period. But that's awesome. Diana says barter is the way to go. We bartered with friends. We bought some items to repair our vehicle. He bought some items to repair our vehicle, and we will be helping them organize their garage, which is packed to the gills. Oh, fantastic. I am so glad to hear that. Oh no, I'm losing my connection. We are on the road today. No, I think it was my end, and hopefully you're back on here. Thank you, sweet friend, for praying for me. Enriched Refuge. Howdy, Deb is in North Central Washington. Awesome. I am glad to have you joining. What I was saying before things started spinning, Dave Canterbury and his wife lost their home this week to a fire. They lost everything. And you can find him by looking for Dave Canterbury on YouTube. His channel is amazing. Glenn was following him eons ago when he very first started. In the comments below is a link to donate. We often choose to tithe people that are in need rather than the church sometimes directly, and that is what we chose to do. They are really good friends. They are the kind of people that would give the shirt off their back to help others. So at this time, it's really nice to see everybody coming to their aid. And if you feel led, the link is down below for the GoFundMe that his it was his cousin that started it. So that is there, and if you could just keep them in your prayers, they are just such wonderful people, and I'd really appreciate it. Okay, now, let me jump back on here. It is really important to barter, and Diana, that is absolutely awesome. I am just so excited that that's how things worked out for you. That is just phenomenal. Being able to barter with people in various ways is so important. And as I said last week, putting our knowledge to action is what creates power. And if we alone don't have the knowledge, but we have others that do, I know Tammy has people come in and helps her butcher sometimes because they need the extra hands, and they are teaching them how to do things, learning the skills. Hands-on is so much better. And when we are able to, connect with other people and learn from them or teach them, it is a very powerful situation to be able to build on everybody's skills and abilities. And that's what we need to be doing right now. And, it's going to go back to that. I mean, right now, there aren't many people making money and that are considered essential. And if we are able to do that now, just imagine how we can, rebuild. I think it's extremely important. And it's also important for us, rather than, sitting and having our kids on video games right now or whatever they might be doing. Our boy is distant learning, and when he's not doing that, he's helping us. But one of the things he greatly loved was being in the garden and learning how to plant things and seeing things growing. It is a great thing for us to do right now, is to teach our kids the skills they need to have. A lot of schools don't have home ec anymore. They don't teach these kids how to cook. Learning how to be in the kitchen, learning how to cook, learning how to make everything you need rather than depending on the stores is huge right now. And I want you guys to think that way. I've been talking to you about thinking out of the box and being prepared. While you have this time now, think about all the things you need to make all the things you enjoy and that your family enjoys and that would give you pleasure, and not only pleasure, but nutrients. I've talked before about how I have all the seasonings to make my salad dressings and my seasonings themselves. And we can't have dairy here, so I have coconut milk powder on hand instead of powdered milk. Knowing the things you need to make your favorite recipes and knowing that you have plenty on hand. So making those lists and thinking that direction instead of filling your pantry with processed foods, because it may come down to that. It may come down to the fact that you may need to continue to thrive by making your own foods. And honestly, it is the best way to go. You will improve your health. You will improve so much, your sleep, everything, by being able to make your own foods from raw ingredients. It's getting harder to get those things. So although they are starting to come back now in abundance. So that's why I'm telling you guys now is to be able to think that way and start planning that way. Not just having 3 of something so that you have backups of your tools, but also thinking of the things you need, not just in your kitchen, in your bathroom, so that you can make your own soaps, you can progress forward without having to purchase cleaning products, that you're making your own. Lots of comments coming in. I love it. Okay. Deb says, howdy and thanks. Love this faithful community of like-minded folks. Well, glad to hear it, and welcome, because as we grow, it's nice to have new people joining us. And I'll tell you, I am very proud of our community. We all have each other's backs, and just praying for one another has proved miraculous, as it always does. So thank you for joining us, and glad to have you. I do lots of bartering when I can. I knit for a friend, and she has lots of produce, and when she has extra, we'll take food over the money she pays me. So very awesome, and I know that of you, and I know many of you are doing that. Deb says that she's fermenting almost everything. Dehydrators will be going again soon. Yes, I'm excited for the summer months because I can dehydrate. Eventually, we will have a solar dehydrator. Off-grid, anything that pulls heat pulls a lot of power. So I cannot use dehydrators or freeze dryers out here on a constant basis. And right now it is just rain in our forecast for weeks. So it's good. It's keeping us doing the tasks we need to do right now. But we're anxious to be outside, anxious for things to dry out. I also use my sun ovens to do dehydrating, which will be coming up. Foraging is huge right now. If you guys have not got in on the foraging class at Herbal Academy, go to TrayerWilderness.com/Herbal Academy, and you can get in on their herbal or their foraging course for $39. If you're not familiar with foraging and you need assistance, they are the place to go. They have amazing courses, and for $39, it's a steal. So definitely get in on that. Space Girl says, I've been feeling like I need to store salt lately. Bought 2 bags of Himalayan pink salt and a bunch of table salt, but I want large quantities. Do you know where I can find it? Azure Standard is one place you can find it. I don't know where you're located. Here in the Pacific Northwest, Winco is a location for bulk foods. But Azure Standard is a great spot. Also, don't forget to check Amazon. I've been checking Amazon for certain things. Some things you have to pay the shipping, which is just outrageous because of the weight. But others are still doing free shipping on certain things. So don't forget about Amazon. Amazon is a good source, and a lot of people have been adding their things to Amazon during this time. Diana says, I haven't tried fermenting anything yet. I need to. Yes, fermenting is amazing. What's really cool for me, I'm really excited about this. In the beginning of after my surgery and prior to, I got really sick on fermented food because my body was so overloaded on yeast and candida and mold and biotoxins and all that stuff internally that it was not a good combination. I am finally to a place where I'm able to drink kombucha without reactions and start brewing my own again. I love kombucha. It is a great drink to get your stomach right, to keep your stomach right. And we love fermenting carrots and anything. We've fermented so many different vegetables. Radishes are really good fermented. We just ferment a lot, and I couldn't do that. The Mountain Boy loves fermented food, so that's something we are getting back to as well. Very easy to do. I will have to put some links out there next week for some of the fermenting materials I have, because great resources. Let's see here. I am classified as an essential worker, and I really try to buy local to keep the local businesses going. I'm so, you know, that's the important thing, is being able to do that during these times is really important. In small towns, it's hard because not a lot of the things we need are available. Thankfully, we were pretty well stocked before all this hit, and we were able to get stocked on the things that we weren't once we sold our home. But yes, being able to utilize your local resources is really important. Fermenting is on my list to do learning also. Awesome. You guys are making me definitely want to focus on that. Diana says, I really want to get a sun oven. A great item, great item. I use it all year long. In the winter months, not as often, but this summer I will be using it a lot, because while we are building the house, I need something that's going to be cooking my food while we are working. So that will get used a lot. I've been playing around with recipes to find ones that we like and can change with available produce. Awesome. Shelley says, yes, Diana, sun oven would be wonderful. I will have to look into that. Oftentimes they will do a promotion for my audience, so I will look into that right now. Okay, so Space Girl is in Minnesota. Box stores, need to check there. You know, if there are Amish Mennonite stores available, we used to shop those as much as we could to be able to stock up. Their prices were always really good. I'm not sure if that's available to you there, but Azure Standard has drop spots all over the place, and you are able to create a drop spot as well. So that could be something you could formulate in Minnesota if it's not available to you. So check them out. It's Azure, AZURE, standard.com. I found some basics at Nature's Warehouse that were sold out everywhere else I looked. That was Tammy. She's in Montana. Awesome. Picklet fermenting is an amazing system and very safe. Okay, awesome. I use a couple different things that I have found over the years, and I have some really, really great books. So next week, that will be the resources I will share, and I will look into possibly a sun oven opportunity for you all, because it is really great to have your hands on such items. For us, we try to save on the propane in the summer just because we want to. We want to be frugal. And utilizing that sun oven makes things so nice. I actually have 2 of them so that I can cook a full meal and bread and dessert all at the same time. And it works out really amazingly for us. You can also build your own, which we will be building our solar dehydrator moving forward. And we have built our own sun oven as well. So those will be things that we can utilize and share. I'll share some of the DIYs that we had created in the past. Deb says sourdough, pancakes with everything in them, make large amount of batter, and it continues to ferment. Awesome. I like to do my sourdough, and the Mountain Boy is back on his gluten-free and dairy-free diet, so I've been doing a lot with the sourdough, and I love sourdough oat flour pancakes. And yes, those things too can freeze real well and be able to just warm them. I would cook them up and then just freeze them and utilize them that way also. Is everyone on here off grid? Just curious. No, Deb, I am off grid. I don't know. Tammy and Shelley and Diana are not off grid. Kelly joins in, and Jill sometimes. They are not off grid, but they are homesteading and heavily preparedness minded. There may be others that join in that are off grid. Are you off grid? I'll tell you, I will never ever go back. Being off grid has been the best aspect of my life. It's also been the healthiest aspect of my life because I was in the perfect location for healing. I cannot be around EMFs, so I am very thankful to be where I am. We are currently moving to our off-grid. Yes, that is Space Girl, and been ordering from Azure Standard for over 15 years. Awesome. Awesome. So you have the resource there. They were limited on inventory for a while, but it looks like they're getting things back in. Tammy says we are not off grid, but we did live totally off grid in an Amish house for 6 months. I have a cook stove that I use all winter. Yeah, these ladies are pretty heavily preparedness minded. So she says, no, I have lived off grid for short amounts of time in my life. Loved it. Awesome. Awesome. And you know, the more we walk this out, the more thankful I am that a decade ago we embraced this. People thought we were nuts, but this has been the absolute best thing that we have done for our family, is embracing this type of a lifestyle, living this type of a lifestyle, and continuing to focus further on it. A lot of times what happens is when you step into things like this, it's easy to get complacent. And I've spoken to a lot of people that over this time realized that they were complacent and comfortable in their place, and stopped with their preps and their learning, and are now diving back into things. So it is important, you know, that once we get into this place, that we continue to keep it going. I need to like sit back a little more. I'm like starting to flare, so bear with me here, sorry. And our journey forward will be even more prepared, or I should say, well, we will be more prepared, but we will be embracing even a more traditional lifestyle. As with Tammy and Kelly, we will be cooking and heating our home with a wood cook stove. We will be, I don't know that we will have solar power this winter. If we do, it will be very minimal based on our budget. So we will be doing a lot of things different, utilizing a lot less resources, and we already use less resources by far. Right now, the only resource we have is propane and occasional fuel for the generator. And moving forward, we will be really detaching from all of that as much as we can. So, you know, thinking on those lines, thinking on being able to exist without today's modern resources is what we should be thinking about. Even if it doesn't ever happen, thinking that way and preparing that way is what we need to focus on. Late. We love that traditional aspect of things, but we also feel that that is something that we should be focusing on because of the way things have been going, and that was 12 years ago. So now, even more so, being dependent on ourselves, our communities, our friends, our family, being able to barter, share, work together is going to be the thing that I believe pulls us all through. A bunch of comments here, let's see. Okay, Deb says, I cook on my wood stove a lot and have been very resourceful for the years and enjoy learning more. Yes, you're in the right community here. That's exactly pretty much all of us. You know, we enjoy being able to do those things. I use my wood cook stove to cook on still even. We've been having a lot of cold mornings, so and the temperatures have been dropping in the evenings, so we've been putting our food on the wood stove to cook all night, which you will not have better game when it's cooked that way. I just love cooking my meats low and slow. Okay, she says she has a wood burning fireplace insert stove. Nice. Right now, the extent of our off-grid living is being in a rental with no microwave or dishwasher. Exactly. Let's see. Shelley says, I do not have a microwave or dishwasher either. Nope, me neither. We sold the microwave when we embraced this life, and I will never use one again. I haven't had a microwave for over 15 years and never an auto dishwasher. Yeah, I had one in an apartment years and years ago. It didn't work very good. Yeah, no, and TV is the same. You know, we seriously, the only electric appliance we use in the kitchen is a grain mill, and that's on very rare occasion. The other thing we use is a meat grinder and a vacuum sealer, and that is during hunting season. Other than that, everything else is manual. My coffee grinder is manual. My grain mill is manual. And I have both, but typically I use the hand one. And once we are set up in the new house, all of those tools will be out and utilized on a regular basis. I will be moving on to all wheat berries. I've had them, but I've been so crazed trying to sell this house and just take care of myself for these last 4 years that has not been the priority, but moving forward it will be. And let me tell you, using those kind of tools keeps us in shape. It gives you less bat wings or no bat wings when you're milling your flour all the time and grinding your coffee in such a way. And you know, I think that's important for us all is, and I've shared this with you guys many times, is not only being prepared, but being physically fit. And not, you know, to the point that you've got a six-pack and everything else, but that you are able to endure, that you are able to, that you have good strength. Because being able to do things when a necessity arises is important. So I like using all my manual tools for that reason. And one of the things I would really like to learn to do is blacksmithing. So when we get into the new place and things have settled down, the mountain man will be teaching me that too. We haven't had a microwave for about 10 years. When we bought this house, we ripped out the dishwasher. That was Tammy. Yep. I think we're all on the same page. I don't want to use toxicity in my house, and that is toxic. I will never use a microwave again, but I would like to have a dishwasher again, especially for prepping for washing all those jars. That is when it comes in handy, because with us canning, what I usually do is I wash my jars and I store them in totes so that the bugs and dust and dirt does not get into them. But even so, sometimes when you're canning, depending what you're doing, like sometimes with our chili sauce, I will load the hot chili sauce into jars, and you can't add that hot into cold jars. So being able to heat them in the dishwasher is nice. I don't like wasting water. So what I typically do is put my jars on the stove while I'm cooking that's the chili sauce, and just keep rotating them out off of the top of my stove, and that heats them. But yes, there are benefits to the dishwasher. Microwave, no. Exactly, Deb. Bat wings. It gets rid of the bat wings. That was my conversation yesterday with a best girlfriend. We were young 60s, feeling like we need to really pay attention to those details more. Jump back a few videos. There was a video I talked about being physically fit, and there are some amazing, like 6-minute videos on getting rid of your bat wings. I have always been focused on being fit. I used to weightlift, and when I got sick, I got a lot of flab, so from being flat on my back. So yes, those are things I've been focusing on. There's also a standing ab video, which I think is absolutely amazing. The thought never occurred to me, but it is a great way to do your abs and to get your six-pack, mind you, because of how it is done. So yeah, it's just funny. The things we think of, right? But the videos are very good, and both of them, I think the ab workout is like 10-12 minutes maybe, and the batwing video is 6 minutes, and it is a tremendous workout, but it doesn't leave you in pain, but it is definitely effective. Awesome. I listened a few nights ago to your story. We definitely need to meet each other. Oh, awesome. I'm always game for that, and you're not that far away. So yes, my story has been an interesting one, but I give God all the glory. I am here to share it, and very thankful for all that God is doing in our lives. And you know, this morning, one of the things I read that I want to share with you is Psalms 37:34. And you know, this pertains to everything that we've got going on in our lives. And it's something that we need to remember and to focus on. And it was definitely something that screamed to be shared today. Psalms 37:34. Put your hope in the Lord and travel steadily along his path. So, and I don't know if you guys have been following the Facebook page. I've been posting on Instagram and things are feeding to Instagram, or to Facebook. So either Instagram or Facebook. I'm really utilizing the Instagram platform right now because I've created a story, or share the stories and then add them as a highlight. Our cabin build, or our build, I think is what it had to be titled. It's the first thing. You'll see it as the first thing. And you can follow along on our progression and our journey with building our cabin. But I've also been making it a point to share quotes because it's important that we are empowered in our day-to-day. The enemy is utilizing this opportunity to really wreak havoc on us at times. What's really amazing to me and awing to me is to see all the health issues that are popping up as a result, or as this we travel through this pandemic. And the health issues are not related to the coronavirus. I really think the enemy is digging his feet in, and I really feel that we need to dig our feet in, plant our feet, keep our eyes on the Lord, and follow his path, making it a point to be the best we can be each day and really seeking him. Because, guys, this is a time he is looking for, is to really divide and also to conquer. So don't lose hope, don't lose faith. So if you're looking for inspiration, you can find it in everything we are sharing right now, whether it's in my live video, whether it's a podcast. My podcast series right now is Walking Out Hard Times, and I'm trying to do my best through our chaos to inspire and encourage you guys. So don't lose sight of God through this. Don't question whether he's here. He's very present. The only way he's going to come into this chaotic world is if we call him into it, because we've removed him from everything. So keep seeking him, keep calling on him. Something else I want to share with you is a movie that we watched this week. It is such a powerful movie. I actually watched it twice. I watched this movie 13 years ago when I landed on the farm in a very disheveled state from an abusive marriage, and didn't have much of a self-esteem, didn't have direction. And the mountain boy and I were there, and God divinely prompted me to watch this movie, and it changed my trajectory big time. It gave me the power and the courage and the strength I needed, and he continues to do that in our lives, and we become warriors for him, and I give him all the glory because he's walked me through some crazy stuff. But down below you will find the link for Facing the Giants. It is a Kendrick's brother movie, and I love their movies. You want encouragement, just look for them on Amazon. You'll find all their movies. Actually, you can go to TrayerWilderness.com/Kendrick's Brothers. But this one, TrayerWilderness.com/Facing the Giants. It is a tremendous movie, and I highly encourage you guys to watch it. It will definitely inspire you. I encourage you to watch it with your kids if you have children. Austin walked away from that movie very empowered, and is actually changing his trajectory right now with something that he is looking into. I'm not going to say any more on that right now, but we are praying that God will open some tremendous doors for him right now. So if you could keep him in your prayers, that would be absolutely awesome. I think I saw some more comments coming down here. Deb says, I have family in CDA, Idaho, and Council. Well, very awesome. You're not far from us then when you're visiting, so definitely stay in touch. We'll have to connect. Feel free to email me at survive@TrayerWilderness.com, and we'll get connected. Shelley says, nothing more satisfying than whipping whipped cream with a hand mixer. I second that, or a angel food cake with those egg whites. I love my hand mixer, and I actually have 3 of them, but one of them is very special to me. My mother-in-law got it for me. Her aunt passed away tragically, and she had the opportunity to go and get some treasures from her aunt, and one of the things she saw and thought of me was a hand mixer, and it has the Bakelite handle. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Bakelite, but it's one of the products they used to use back probably in the 50s, 60s, and just very unique. I have a lot of Bakelite handle silverware that I purchased for myself off of eBay. I love old stuff, so I prefer to use the old rather than the new. But and how many of you agree? Do you prefer to use the antiques over the modern day appliances? I know with Shelley saying that you do. Deb says, God is so busy in our life. Oh gosh, yes, ours too. He's so physically present. We all prayed the other night, and it was really crazy. I just felt God's presence so strong. It just felt like he came from behind me and just gave me such an intense hug. It was so empowering. I just instantly reduced to tears. It was so awesome. And just seeing what he's doing in our lives, seeing how he's working, and all of us being aware and in tune with that is so important, because he's there in everything, the good, the bad, the ugly. You guys hear me say that all the time, but he is there, he's present, and he will show you his presence in such minute and amazing ways. It's just awesome. Deb says, good movie. Thanks for a reminder. Absolutely. Absolutely. And awesome. I would love to have you get in touch. Yes, God needs, as you guys hear me say every week, God needs to be in the front of everything we are doing. He needs to be leading the way. We need to be letting him lead and following steadily on that path, faithfully forward. And you know, guys, when you look at our situation in our world right now, a lot of people get angry and they want to just fight. They want to fight their way out of this. And you know, that's not necessarily the tactic we need to take. We can fight, but we can fight in a very different way. You know, God is bigger than any of our struggles, and we call him into this and we get him fighting on our behalf. I mean, start reading Psalms. Psalms 34 is a really good one. I read that this morning. God is present, and God will help us through this, but we need to call him into it, and we need to be wanting him to lead our families and lead the way. And it's I can't express the importance of that, because without that, we are not prepared. We can be extremely prepared in everything, stocked to the gills in everything, but if he's not first, we're not prepared. We're not. We're just not. That stuff could all perish. You know, I mean, I hate to use this as an example, but, you know, with the Canterbury's home burning to the ground like that, I mean, it was just, it engulfed and it burned to the ground that fast. You know, all of our preps could be gone like that, but it doesn't mean that he won't prepare, you know, protect us and provide for us. And in having him ahead of the game, we are provided for and we are protected. And that's something that's, you know, had Iris not woken up, the fire was right outside their bedroom window. Had she not woken up, they may not have gotten out. It didn't start inside, it started outside. So no smoke detectors were going off, and the rest of the family was downstairs, you know, so to get them out. And her elderly father was downstairs along with their son. So, you know, it's pretty scary stuff, but they made it out, and God provided, God protected them, and God is blessing them greatly right now. Deb says they don't make anything like the craftsmanship of old or anything. I agree. I love my old stuff. I love my old stuff. And you know, we've gotten rid of and we've downsized, and everything that we've gotten rid of has, you know, is not missed. The things that we have are treasured. And if they disappeared, you know, we weren't meant to have them. But the thing is, I do treasure them. I do treasure, and what we have is all old, all antique things that we still utilize all the time. The mountain man uses a lot of old tools that were his grandfather's. So it's pretty awesome to be able to do that. Younger folks now don't seem to have the work ethic like years ago. Now, with so many entitlements given out, it's changing. Oh, I know. It's sad to watch. It is really, really sad to watch. And they don't have the desire to learn the skills or to do anything. You know, I mean, I am a programmer and web designer by trade. So I spend a lot of my time behind a machine, but that's not my desire. My desire is to learn things and do things with my hands other than on a keyboard, and and it enables me to write as well. It enables me to do a lot of things. There is definitely good to technology, but it would just feel so good and be so good if our younger generation, and maybe now with things happening the way they are, maybe some of them are starting to have that desire. I know locally here, and locally is not a not a good comparison because there are minded people here, and they've raised their children this way. And granted, children can raise up and go their own way, but we're seeing a lot of second generation, third generation stuff happening here right now, and it's pretty awesome stuff. And really seeing them digging in. So as Shelley said earlier, there's a lot from this too, and that's typically my view. But today I was kind of fired up, and like I said, Phil Robertson said it best. We need to all just pick a day and go back to work. And it's not saying discredit this virus. We need to do it safely, but we need to focus on taking back and keeping our constitutional rights, which are going to so quickly disappear if we don't do something. And that may mean also just getting governors out of their positions and using our voices and standing up and coming together. So a lot of ways we can do things, and like I said, it doesn't have to be in a malicious way. We have a lot of abilities and a lot of ways to derail and do things, and that's something that we need to focus on right now. I want to read something else to you that resonated with me today. It says, "Be courageous and be strong." Matthew 5:10. God blesses those who are persecuted for doing right. Jesus said, "God blesses you when people mock you and persecute you and lie about you and say all sorts of evil things against you because you are my followers. Be happy about it, for a great reward awaits you in heaven. If you're thin-skinned, you'll always be an easy target. Endurance, not popularity, is the secret to long-term success." Paul endured desertion by his friends, ugly letters from the Corinthians, disappointment with the Galatians, mistreatment in Philippi, mocking in Athens, and beheading in Rome. He writes, "Be on the alert, stand firm in the faith, act like men, be strong." That's 1 Corinthians 16:13. Let's break this verse down. 1, be on the alert. The devil is out to get you. What's he after? Your value to God's kingdom. Your life is a seed capable of producing a harvest for God in the earth, so protect yourself. Protect yourself by praying hedges of protection over your family and seeking him. 2, stand firm in the faith. You can't stand on your circumstances or other people's opinions because those things constantly change. You can stand only on the word of God and your faith. Stand strong in your beliefs, guys. And I know some of you have had to do that lately. 3, act like men. Immaturity will hurt you when the attack comes. The Bible says you must be elementary and press on to maturity. That's Hebrews 6:1. If you're still making the same mistakes 25 years later, you're not learning enough. Put the knowledge with the power. Let's add the action, guys. And 4, be strong. Weakness is an invitation to the enemy. It always precedes surrender, and quitting isn't an option. God told his people that the promised land was theirs, but they had to fight for it. And only those who were willing to fight got to enter it. The same goes for you. When you look back at our past and our forefathers, fighting for our freedoms, they were Christian men. They were God-fearing men. They put our Constitution in place. Sometimes as God-fearing people, we do need to stand together. We need to stand strong. We need to fight for what our beliefs are and what we stand for. And like I said, that could just be putting your voice in place. And we need to listen to these words and stand on these words. These are powerful. This was powerful today. I think that it describes our what we need to do right now. And Deb, it makes my heart sing that you joined us today, and we have another strong sister in Christ here. And I hope that through what we are doing here at Trayer Wilderness, that we start to see a lot more people joining and standing strong in God's word and pulling together as a community. And I encourage you guys, if you find things that we're doing that are really powerful to you, share them, because we need to get the word out. We need to reach the people. And I think now more than ever. Okay, let's see. Diana says, my entrepreneurial son-in-law says he's a dying breed. He works hard and has great work ethics. Diana also says, I'm originally from Michigan. I'm so happy we aren't there anymore. Their governor is quite a piece of work. There's quite a few of them. Pennsylvania, here in Idaho. I mean, and it's just scary to see all that's going on around us. Deb says, my 16-year-old son, 17 in June, is in Alaska for his second summer season working for a homegrown fishing and processing company. So proud of young folks who will take on challenges. That is fabulous. That is so fabulous. What an opportunity for him. How did he get involved in that, Deb? I'm curious. That's really, really awesome. It has been a pleasure. Thanks so much. Yes, thank you too. I am live every Wednesday at 10:30 Pacific. I am doing a weekly podcast that goes live on hopefully Fridays. It's been a little scattered lately because I have not been keeping up well, I admit. But the podcast goes live on iTunes, Stitcher, TuneIn Radio, and also iHeartRadio, and it's archived on our website. If you want to keep up with what we've got going right now, if you go to our website at trayerwilderness.com, the first thing you'll see is our cabin build. And if you click on that, it takes you to a page where everything that I am sharing on that topic is displayed. It'll have blog posts, podcasts, videos, so you'll be able to see all that there. And as you scroll down, you can see all the other areas where you can connect with us. The videos, YouTube videos, are displayed on our main page of our website. Instagram is displayed at the bottom. The podcasts are displayed in there. They're archived on our website. So you can really keep up very quickly by just going to our website. I also have a newsletter. So if you guys are not part of the newsletter, I've started that back up again, and I'm doing teachings through the newsletter. So you can go to trayerwilderness.com/newsletter to keep up with that as well. But I want to start using that newsletter to start educating and getting you guys thinking. I don't have time to write blog posts right now because I'm also working on books. It's amazing when I start saying all this out loud. It blows me away. I'm doing more than I ever have in more limited time than I've ever had, and I give God the glory for that because he's using me in a time when it's needed. And so those are the ways you can keep up. You can also, I know you can click on the bell on our right-hand side of our main YouTube channel, and it will alert you when I'm live. I tried premiering one of my podcasts on Sunday. I might start doing that. Also is premiering some of the podcasts, because what I've been doing this year is actually videotaping myself and then utilizing that on the YouTube channel and pulling out the voiceover for the podcast. And it's been working out really well because I'm reaching more people that way. But I am doing that as a live chat, so that might be something that we can continue to do too. I did that on Sunday at 1 o'clock Pacific. So let's see here. Thank you, Diana. Deb says his wrestling, another school wrestling coach, his family-owned business, knew my son and his hard work ethics and dedication. You know, I'll tell you, it pays off when these kids are really standing out. They get such amazing opportunities, and you know, it's good for them to work like that. You know, my husband and I were brought up that way too, and you know, we love the hard work. We both love harvesting our firewood and doing our firewood together. And I'm really looking forward to building our house together. It's going to be a lot of work. Praying my body holds up. This was not a good setback here for me in regard to what might be ahead, but I'm trusting God and trusting God to give me the strength I need to be a part in this. But being able to do those skills and those things, you know, I love getting a good sweat doing something worthwhile. That's part why we love doing the firewood so much. It just feels good. Diana says, I need to scoot. Everyone have a good week. You too, sweet friend. Love you, girl. Praying for you. Deb says, awesome. You are a blessing through God. Well, I give God all the glory. You know, I was sitting in my hammock swing in the bedroom doing my devotions, and I asked my husband what time it was, and it was 10:15. I had no idea what I was even going to talk about. God has been feeding me for this live for the last over a year. And he provides the content. I'm just the vessel. So I give him the glory, but I'm so thankful you were here, and thank you for your words. Deb says, yes, I have subscribed and sent you some messages the other night. Okay, I will check and see. Like I said, I am behind, so please forgive me. I've raised my son as a widow since he was 2. I had my son at 44, and God is my sole support. Well, girl, prayers to you. I know what it's like to be a single mom, and I'm sorry for your loss there, but God has worked through you too. And it's, you know, when we put him first and seek him, he does amazing things. So you've done a good job raising your son, and it's really awesome that he has such opportunities. So guys, I'm going to say a prayer here and let you guys get back to your day. Papa, I just thank you for your love, your mercy, your grace, your word, your direction, your constant presence in our lives. I just ask that you be with all those on our prayer list. Be with Terry Perry. He has popped in my mind quite often. Just help him with his cancer and his treatments and his marriage with June. Be with Dave and Iris right now. Just allow them to accept the love and gifting from all those people. They are typically the gifters and the doers and the helpers, and I know what it's like to have to transition and that be reversed. It's an uncomfortable place, but may they be really abundantly at peace and blessed by the goodness of others. And I just ask that you be with Diana and Craig, help them walk out what they are, and thank you for blessing them with the car parts they needed in the way that you did. That's just so fabulous. Be with Tammy and her family, be with Shelly and her family, be with Kelly and Mike and Courtney as they walk out Mike's healing. Just be with them and give them all the strength and the courage and the healing they need. And be with Deb. Thank you for having her join us today. And just be with all the others on our prayer list, and just thank you for what you're doing in each of our lives. Give us the strength to stand on your word and do what we can as individuals, but also to stand strong together with others and stand for what we believe in, God's presence in our country, God's word and God's goodness in our country, but also, you know, standing on our constitutional rights and our Declaration of Independence. Just help us as a country to regain our footing and get the evil seeds out and wholesome people in place. This election is important for us, and just help us to mend the division that's happening, and help us to bring power to our knowledge by creating action in our lives in whatever way we need to currently, and just continue to do so. And just thank you for what you're doing in each of our lives. Thank you more so for what you're going to do in our lives. And just may you be present in our lives. May everyone that's watching this feel your presence and your peace and your comfort. And just be with all those that have lost loved ones during this time. And be with those that are struggling right now. So many are struggling, and this is new to them. For us, this is something we've walked out for 4 years. So give them the strength and the courage and the peace that you gave us, and help them to see the truths in your word during this time. and to learn to not focus on the struggles, but on the goodness around you and around them, and the things that they, to lose focus on the things they have no control over, but also give us the power to stand strong for the things we do have control over. And I just thank you for what you're going to do for each of us this week. And just be with everyone in our audience and just love on them and help them. And thank you for your son. And thank you for all you do. We love you and ask all this in your holy and precious name of Jesus. Okay, guys, I thank you so much for being here today. You guys empower me too. And Deb, I'm glad to hear that you've had much support. That's awesome. And just stand strong this week, guys. Pay attention to what's going on around you. Don't have your head in the sand. I know with our community that there aren't too many with their head in the sand, but pay attention to what's going on around you. Start seeking more knowledge and start focusing on the how you can create change. So guys, have an awesome rest of your day. Have a blessed rest of your week. I love you all, and more than anything, may God bless you.